Hello, good morning, everybody. Warm welcome to this Tuesday Decoding the Business Newspaper. Let's begin. And before I begin, let me share what I'm decoding today. So, today I am decoding the Economic Times Wealth newspaper, and this is from July 6th to July 12th. It comes just once a week, every Monday, and I am an avid reader of it. And I recommend this to everybody, all the people who are doing our courses, all the people who are not doing our courses, they're still considering, wondering, and if you've not done our courses, you're not anywhere from the commerce background, it will be very difficult to understand this. This is not a very easy paper to understand. But yeah, if you're persistent, slowly and gradually, you will build an understanding for it. And well, on that note, let me begin with decoding the first story like I promised in my video yesterday. And the cover story is, do we really need a financial advisor? So let me ask you guys, and this is especially in reference to the financial crisis that we are going through in COVID. So, are you somebody who panicked when this crisis began? So, just start writing. Did I panic? Did I feel scared? Number one. Number two, did I sell all my equity investments? Did I sell all my stocks, all my mutual funds because I got scared? So guys, start typing. Did you take all the money out and you put it in fixed deposits? So when I say all the money out, you took it out from equity in this crisis and you put it in fixed deposits. Or are you somebody who invested heavily, like went berserk, investing in equity, investing in say real estate, just because the prices went crashing down? Did that happen for you? Okay, let's hear some of our community members speak. Beena wasn't scared. She didn't sell all her stocks, mutual funds. She didn't buy crazily. Like, she didn't go berserk. She didn't put all her money in fixed deposits. Kavleen, Rochelle, Ridhima, Lasya. So none of them did that. So Lasya is saying she did increase equity, but well, nobody went like berserk, right? I mean, you didn't went crazy just buying, right? So Hira is saying, no, I didn't do that. Okay, Kavleen is saying she changed a little bit of her investment strategy. Did not invest heavily, but yes, on every fall she did buy. So did Namita. So did Bindu, Hina. So guys, I am really questioning this cover story. There's nothing against Economic Times, Economic Wealth. I have taken a lot of value from it. I have learnt a whole lot from it. It's just I don't buy into being dependent on somebody. That's my personal choice, and that's what I always recommend to anybody who comes and seeks some support. And there are some hard-hitting questions which are being asked in this cover story. So let me take you through these. Do you have the expertise and time to do it yourself? Well, I get that, like my question to that is, well, I get that we all have households to manage, kids to take care of, jobs, businesses to handle, and yet we may not have a lot of time. And well, do we want to be financial experts? I don't think so. Anybody can be. This is an ocean, and not even financial experts can know it all. It will be like, it will be such a big expectation to have from anybody. Just because somebody has taken on being a mentor, being a guide, an advisor, an expert, doesn't mean he or she knows it all. It's just that maybe they have taken on supporting you, and this is an ocean. So let's not expect something which is going to be an unfulfilled expectation that we have, and which is going to lead to upset and then cost us that relationship. I think that's what I see in this financial world ongoingly. And yeah, like Hina is saying, it's an ongoing process. Like, it's not a one-time effort that you put in. And well, everybody is learning. Somebody may know it a little more because she or he may be implementing the practices for a few more years than us. Or, might be investing a little more time reading, researching, learning, thinking about it. And how I see it is that all of us women have time if we take out time. Like, I can't say that, oh, I don't have time to exercise and diet, so let me hand it over to an expert. Well, even if I hand it over to an expert, I am the one who has to follow the diet. I am the one who has to exercise. Nobody else can do it for me. So I am just questioning that, is it about I don't have time, or I am not willing to give this enough priority to take the time out for it? And well, I've been doing it by myself. Initially, I studied a whole lot, I researched a whole lot. Now I am spending about 1 hour, 2 hours every day. Does everybody need to do that? I don't think so. So that's how I began decoding this. Let's talk about what are the financial mistakes you make. Well, that's the second question that they're asking in this article, and I'm thinking to myself, our financial expert is also a human being. Is he or she not going to make mistake? Am I not going to make mistake? Well, I've always made mistakes, and I am somebody who owned her mistakes. Let's look at even one person in this world who did not make financial mistakes. What's the big deal about it? At least, we're like getting up and saying, okay, I made a mistake. What's the big deal? And an expert will also make the mistake. However, the probability of making mistakes will keep going down as I keep building my skills, and also as my expert keeps building my skills. So I'm not going against not having a financial advisor. It's great to have an advisor, have one. At the same time, know and understand what he or she is doing. It can't be at the end of the day that I'm blaming him or her for unworkabilities in my money life. That's not something that really connects with me, and definitely blame, criticism are not a part of my value system. I don't want to live this life where I'm blaming or criticizing anybody. If I knew better, I would have done it, and just because I'm spending some money on giving a fee doesn't mean that this guy will not make mistakes. So That's ask yourself, with whatever I am doing right now, am I going to reach my financial goals? If not, what's the course correction which is needed? Is the course correction just finding a advisor? Is that going to fix everything? Well, seems inadequate to me. Unless I build my own financial skills, I don't think just hiring a broker and advisor is going to help. At least that's, and you guys can give your viewpoint, of course. So here is how to get a good advisor. So conduct thorough research. Look for somebody who's giving holistic services, and he's not somebody who's just selling insurance or just selling you some products, because then it becomes more about commission than anything else. It's a huge expectation that ET Wealth has put in, that he should have all the answers to all the questions you put in. Well, seems unrealistic to me, but yeah, maybe there is somebody who knows it all, and I'm yet to meet that person. And somebody who gives you clarity on the fee and is consumer centric. So this is the first article that I have shared, where I just kept questioning the entire article. Nothing good or bad about it, please guys. It's just my way of just decoding something. And yeah, it's a very, very strong belief system that I have, which is against financial dependence. So yeah, that's pretty much. Do share your views. I'm not sure if you guys went ahead and read this one. This is it. Yeah, do you need a financial advisor? So go ahead, share your views, write down what you thought in case you read this article, and in case you read it, please write down read. Because I would love to know that, okay, some of you are reading. And I would like to acknowledge Kavleen here. She continues to send me her notes that she makes from decoding her own business paper. So Kavleen, this goes for you. We are damn proud of you. Your community is proud of you. Thank you for taking charge and also sharing it with us. Got that. Now let's move on. While some of you say if you read, didn't read. Okay, Ridhima is saying she didn't read because she didn't find it relevant. Oh my god. Okay, like you completely left it aside. Got that, Ridhima. Thanks for sharing. Okay, there is an article on, and this is a very, very interesting article on stocks. So stock investing, guys. And this is on, rupee investing. I'm just looking for the right name that he mentioned here. It's rupee stocks or rupee investing, something like that, something on those lines. And here, he is this is an article by Dhirendra Kumar, whom I absolutely respect in the industry. And he is mentioning, Ridhima, cigar butt strategy. So he is mentioning how it's not worth chasing rupee stocks. So rupee stocks are those single digit price stocks. So say 1 rupee stocks, 2 rupee stocks, buying them and, in speculation. Buying them now in speculation that, oh, these prices will definitely increase. Like he's clearly talking about how if you're not studying the fundamentals of the company, you're not studying anything and you're just speculating and buying into such rupee stocks, that's not a strategy that's going to work. That's not how you actually invest in the stock market. So he's actually raising that bell, tin, 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 and waking people up to what they might be doing. Yeah. So they're sometimes called, yes, Ridhima, they're sometimes called penny stocks. In our country, they're called rupee stocks. And, he's actually quoting that you know, buy wonderful businesses at fair prices instead of buying fair businesses at wonderful prices. So don't go after just buying at the right price. It will average itself out when you are investing over years. Sometimes, sometimes that becomes the whole game. Let me buy it sasta. अरे भाई नहीं हो सकता. Cannot time the market. Let's realize that. And let's go after buying wonderful businesses. And I think it just echoed with me. This article just echoed with me because I think I truly believe in the same thing. Let's build our own financial skills. Let's educate ourselves about businesses. Pick the best businesses at fair value. And then let's keep building it up. Let's not look for these get rich quick schemes because none really exist. Like none exist at all. Okay, decoding the third one. So in our community, we've been talking about how, if you have kids, if you young kids, if you have young kids who are yet to take their higher education, or you have debt, you have old parents who need to be taken care of. So any way that you have any kind of dependency, you must buy a term life insurance. And we keep talking about why never mix insurance with investment. So, in this article, the third one that I'm decoding, I loved this article because it talked about how there is a need for, taking staggered payout option. So if you are somebody who has family members who will find it difficult to manage the money that comes to them after you leave, it's good to take the staggered payout option, which means that they will receive a lump sum plus say they will receive a small amount on a monthly, quarterly basis, and that amount you can decide. So there are various plans from ICICI, HDFC, Max Life, Punjab National Bank, Kotak, so many of them. And these 5 options are given, and well, you can go to Policy Bazaar and check them out, right? It's easier to check these days. And look at this. I just loved this. If you're say making a payment in one of the schemes, if you're making the payment for 10 years and you will receive a one-time payment of 36 lakhs and the total payout will be 72 lakhs. And the monthly income that your dependent will get is 30,000 rupees. Isn't that like amazing? And that is just at say 8,500 to 9,500. That's the yearly premium. And you are saving the entire family if anything happens to you. And sometimes I see, before COVID, I definitely saw people really avoiding this. But now I think with COVID, we've all risen to the fact that anything can happen at any point. Let's take actions. Okay. Okay, Shreya is saying it's so good to hear this in a world where so many people make stock picking sound like a gamble. Well, Shreya, this is to tell you are our money gymmer. You must know that stock investing is not gambling. Okay. Another article is on gold loan. So if you're somebody who has taken a gold loan already prior, so then there's good news because now you can even go and take more loan. In case you took a gold loan to start your business, anything you did like that, you can actually go to the lender and take more loan on the same gold that you had put at stake. Why? Because the gold rate has increased. And this is a very, very nice article because it actually showed you how SBI is charging 7.5% interest, PNB 8.7, ICICI 10%, HDFC 10.05%, and the private lenders like Muthu Finance and Manapuram, Manapuram Finance are charging about 12%. So the private lenders are charging more interest while banks are charging much less. So you can actually go to them, take more cash for the gold which is already lent, which is already put out there. And also you could request a reduction in rates. Sometimes it's funny. It is good to also check, and this beautiful in this article, that it's good to check what is how you want to pay the interest rate and the principal back. Sometimes they take the interest from the money that they're lending you at the get-go. Like, do you want to opt for that? Do you want to keep opting for monthly payments? What is it that you want to opt for? It's important to weigh these decisions. Now, again, it struck me that can a financial advisor really do this for me? I'll have to do this for myself. So why build a dependent mindset? That's something. Good news for mid-cap funds. This is the next one that I'm going for. And mid-cap funds, well, according to this article, good time is coming. A lot of conversation is happening around V and U-shaped recovery. So right now we are at the bottom of the V and U. Many different analysts and our secretaries are saying that. Government officials, they're talking about us being at the bottom, and they're really expecting now speedy growth. So next year by the same time we'll be at the top of the U or the V-shaped recovery. That's what we're talking about. And I think inside of that there is this article which is talking about mid caps going up. So that's what I would look at and rejoice that, okay, is it really going to go up? Nobody knows the future, right? I mean, we can all keep speculating, oh, it's going up. But isn't it really important as an advisor not as an advisor, I mean, isn't it important as an investor to remain balanced? Like, whether it's going up, whether it's going down, if I've chosen a good company to invest in, a good fund to invest in, then I'm going to just stay put with it. That's it. I'm just going to keep investing month on month with it. I would not go really high thinking, oh my god, wow, it's time for mid cap, so let me now accumulate a whole lot now. Well, not really. I think I'll just keep investing month on month. That's about it. So yeah, whenever such articles come where they say, oh, it's time for this, oh, it's time for that, I'm like, okay buddy, let's see what happens, and as we travel through that time, we'll take our decisions. Let's not look into the future right now, because none of us can really say what it is going to be. Like I often say, nobody knew COVID was coming, and we'll be in such situations. Okay, let's look at some millennials here. So how many of us are the millennials? Well, I am. So if you are in the age group of 30 to 40, just put the hands up, say yes, you're a millennial, because there's something really interesting for a millennial in the ET Wealth this time. So go ahead guys, say if you're a millennial. I'm waiting. What? Nobody is a millennial. Nobody is in my age group, 30 to 40. Well, I am 35. Today, let's disclose it to anybody who may not know it. Okay, Shriya is the only one who is a millennial. Okay, Kavleen is also. Okay, got it. So, two people. Okay, Preeti, Archana, Hina, Ridhima, Neelu, I love that. Okay, anybody else? That's it. We're just 8 of us. That's it. Okay. What are the other people thinking? Guys, engage. Please engage with us, because only when you talk with us are you going to even create more value for yourself, because it's fun just kind of interacting with each other and just engaging with each other. I think that's what's needed. So drop all those inhibitions and jump in. Got it. Namita is saying, I am a senior, buddy. So, Namita, you have a friend here in Preeti and Neelu. And while all of us are the millennials here in the community. So, okay, nothing to be sad about. You know, this article by another person I really respect, Uma Shashikant. She's talking about millennials, their burdens, parental pressure, the impact of it on young people, and the pressure to settle down, to take certain kind of decisions, to buy a house, to buy a property, to buy those LIC insurances that all our parents love, and so much more. And here, you know, she's sharing so many stories of women like us who are, say, millennials, and they really are working hard, COVID, no COVID. They're not willing to be bogged down by the situations around. They're wanting to look at the positive aspects and really build themselves up. I love that. I mean, I think in COVID, you know, we also went all out, skilling our own selves up and skilling our community up. Like, we put in all those extra efforts to take the community engagement to the next level, so that our community focuses more on building themselves up in this difficult period. You know, we brought, I mean, if you look at it, from Monday to Friday, we created a calendar of what needs to happen on an everyday basis for the community. Why did we do that? Because, you know, we wanted to bring home that working on your money life is not a weekend job. It's not something for the weekend. Working on your money life, skilling yourself up with your finances is a Monday to Friday job. It has to be a part of your daily activity. I think that's how I really got benefited in my own financial life, because I worked on my finances on an everyday basis with my job and then with my work at Women on Wealth. And I hugely benefited. So either we can complain or we can really collaborate. I'm clear about that. And we here choose to collaborate with each other and make working on our financial life a daily activity, a Monday to Friday, a weekday activity, not a weekend activity. So this is what we chose, that okay, from Monday to Friday, every day we are going to show up for our community 30 minutes to 1 hour each weekday. So if you see, Monday, Jyoti, Dabira, Apeksha are running the money conversations with women investors in our community. On Tuesday, I'm running the decoding of the financial news. Wednesday, Sheetal is running the book club. meets. Book club meetings has Prachi and Saloni leading it. Thursday, we are running the My Investment Mastery series where we're talking about one investment. And Friday, we are again decoding the business newspaper. So this is how we distributed the daily activity. And what's the intent? Let all of us, millennials or not millennials, let's work on our money life and really focus on skilling up. Because we all have just 24 hours and as much energy. Either we can use it in saying, okay, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, it's a patriarchal world, this advisor did something wrong to me, I didn't get as much support from the community, blah, blah, blah. You can also complain about me, well. But what's important is that we actually rise up to the situation and take charge. And build a positive outlook to make a difference. So I think that's something that got reinforced for myself when I was reading this article by Uma, and I was kind of contributing to my own self. And the last article for today, and before I do that, I think Manjula is saying something. When you say about upskilling what you say about upskilling is amazing. There's no doubt about it. Wow, really changed the dynamics since COVID happened. More power. Thank you, Manjula. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Awesome. Nilima, you're definitely a millennial. You are our tribe. Millennial, not millennial. I think each one of you is my heart, okay? My source, the source of this work. Okay, let's talk about the last article now before we close, because I think it's time, almost time. So this article, this is a full page article. Look at how it looks. Interesting, right? So here are some of the things to know about PPF. Well, we did a full video on Public Provident Fund just a few weeks ago, and I trust all of you looked at it. Interest rate is assured. The interest rate may change. It has been reducing over time in PPF. Like earlier it used to be 8%, came down to 7.9, and now it has further come down to 7.1. So the interest rate has been reducing over time for PPF, but still it beats inflation, and it is an assured return. Like it's a guaranteed return that you receive. The rate of return is not fixed, but it is guaranteed. That's one thing which is amazing about PPF. And well, I also like this, but take that this is not anything recommended. I'm not an advisor. This is from my personal money life. What I learned, I share. You can liquidate the PPF in 15 years time. So for 15 years the money is locked up, and then every 5 years you can keep extending it. So that's how it is. It has tax benefits. So this is one scheme where whatever return that you generate on PPF is not taxable. Like you pay no tax. So once when you deposit the money, there is no tax. Another is when you receive all that interest, you don't pay any tax. All that money is yours, which I think is a very, very big benefit, which is not available when you compare it with other instruments. Like if you invest in ELSS, which are say mutual funds which offer tax benefits. So whatever gains that you make, which are beyond 1 lakh rupees, they get taxed at 10%. While in PPF, it's tax free. Again, if you buy national saving certificate, again we did a video on this and you get a tax benefit on this, but the interest is taxable. So whatever money that you make is taxable. Again, tax saving FDs, which often a lot of people who have retired will do, again interest is taxable. You choose NPS. NPS we will make a video on shortly, and here just in nutshell, 60% of the corpus that you receive has no tax, but the rest 40% where you convert it into annuity, which means you get a monthly or a quarterly pension from it, that's taxed. So the biggest benefit that I find is around tax. The second biggest benefit is that it's a very, very safe instrument. The returns are guaranteed, they're not fixed. The interest rate will keep changing, it's not fixed. And there is a tax deduction which is possible in PPF. Yes, the liquidity is not there for 15 years and then plus 5 years as you keep extending. But after 15 years you will get a lump sum amount, and generally it is double of what you've invested. So your money in a way doubles and it beats inflation. So this is pretty much about today, guys. Before all of you go, can you start writing what you're taking away today? What were the main highlights from today's sharing that you're taking away? Because my intention is to help you guys build your financial skills and financial understanding with this decoding. So before all of you leave, can you start typing what you are taking away, please? Okay, there is a question from Manjula. Meanwhile, I'm answering that. So when I redeem PPF at the end of 15 years, will I get the money at today's interest rate or the rate prevailing at that time? Manjula, the rate keeps changing. So the rate is not fixed. The interest rate is not fixed. It's been falling for now quite some time. So it's not fixed, and whatever will be the rate, it will keep changing. Your return will keep changing over time, over 15 years. That's how it is. Got that? So now that I've answered, I'm looking at any other comments that I've missed. Meanwhile, please start typing. What are you taking away from today's decoding? Okay, Ridhima has begun. Thanks, Ridhima. So no financial advisor. Okay, you're like decided no financial advisor for you? Completely on you. And working on my money life is a way of life. Wow, now that's a big takeaway. Like working on your money life, if you look at it as a lifestyle, as a way of life, that's the big thing. Absolutely. Like we eat every day, we brush our teeth every day, we kind of sleep every day. So this is a way of life. Wow, I'm kind of blown away with that, Ridhima. Thank you. Manjula, I learned a little about term life insurance. We'll study more about it. Absolutely. Go to ET Wealth, Manjula. And by the way, Balwinder shared it on our Money Gymmers WhatsApp group. So you could look at it also there. Preeti, keep upgrading your skills. Don't depend solely on financial advisors. Keep on researching. Yes. Everyday activity. Just schedule a time every day, Preeti. You're already doing our stock investing course. So that's what you need to do. I keep sharing this, that you need to keep some time out on an everyday basis to keep working on your money life. It has to be a part of our lifestyle. Advisor, no advisor, works both ways. Pavan, amazing to have you. Thank you for sharing your comment. And guys, Pavan and Shama are one of the few people who joined Women on Wealth when we just started out. They were the first one who joined the couple program. So Pavan, it's amazing to see you here share. We need to be responsible for all the good and not so good that we create in our finances. Absolutely, Pawan. No one should be blamed for it. Yes, I am responsible. Pawan, that's big. That's really big that you're saying that, yes, I am responsible for my money life, because it's all about taking charge. Beautiful. Thank you, Pawan. And Pawan, so are you. Absolutely great. You've been in this journey with us. I think if I remember it right, since 2012 we are together. So thank you for being here, persisting with us in your money life. Take action as soon as I'm able to. Don't wait for as soon as when I can. You have the ability right now, Manjula, to get down to it. So just make it happen. Okay, Namita is saying, I don't need a financial advisor. Okay, guys, know that I'm not against it. It's just I say, let's know what we are doing. Nilima, same thing. Thank you for sharing. Hina, we can be our best financial advisor, working towards money every day, not just one day. Exactly, Hina. Exactly. So that's why, guys, I don't say that, okay, most of you are in our programs or community, like the community which is post doing the programs. Now you're in those communities, but it's not about just showing up for those private community meetups and those sessions. It's about on an everyday basis taking time out and learning. Beautiful. And yes, these lives that we are doing are for you. Money is a daily investment, not a weekly investment. Study daily, Archana. Building of knowledge and upskilling is very important. Combining with knowledge from others will get wonderful results. Okay, Namita, you're looking for some advice here. I am not a financial advisor. You could bring in a discussion on this topic in the Money Gymmers private community so that you can all brainstorm and come to a solution for this. Now I close this decoding here. Guys, if you took value from this, I invite you to share this video. Let us not only take charge of our own finances, but also encourage other women to do that. Because we are responsible for not only raising our financial consciousness, but also raising consciousness of our entire larger women's community. On this note, I invite each one of you to click on that share button and go ahead and share this video, because we don't know who needs us. It's only you who can actually help us reach out to that woman who's really wanting to take charge. And probably she's not saying that because maybe she's not able to articulate it. So please go ahead, share it. Manjula, thanks for saying that you've already shared it. You could share on your timeline, any WhatsApp, Facebook groups, with any friend privately. Just share, with your click of a button. We don't know which life we can touch. We are on a mission to have 50 lakh financially educated women in our country. By 2030, that's what we're committed to. So let's make this happen together. While we upskill our own selves, let's spread the word and make this country full of financially educated women. Thank you. Thanks, Ridhima, for sharing. And on that note, I close. See you tomorrow in the book club meeting, Wednesday, 5 p.m. sharp. Take charge, guys. See you.